Hi guys, my name is Nonima Dikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to go through memory lane. Some of these things happened before we were there, I suppose, but I want us to talk about the corruption that happens at SAPS, South African Police Services. It is not something new, guys. Today, what we see today, it has always been there. It's just that right now we've got the likes of Abo Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who hates dishonesty. And should it be that even about General Dumisani Kumalo are lying to him, they must brace themselves because that man will come for them. Mkhwanazi will come for everyone. He is the man that hates dishonest people. You can see that, ne? You can see that he is a man that wants things to be done thoroughly. Look at what he did when they arrested when they dealt with the case of the lady that has something to do with correctional services somewhere in KwaZulu Natal. They wanted to arrest her. His feedback was, well, did you find the drugs with her? Or you are saying outside of her house in a garage? Was she there? No, 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 no. So how are you going to play this out? Because it's not something that you found. Oh yeah. Do you understand? So we have that. I'm trying to say we are very fortunate as a country to have someone who is like General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. But here is the list. This is the investigation that I've done. Here is the list and I'll tell you why I've done this. Let's start from pre-1994, cases from the apartheid or pre-1994 era, security police special branch, etc. So these are among the darkest and most notorious cases where police corruption often overlapped with political repression, torture, extrajudicial killings, disappearances, and state crimes. This here in 2025, the things that we are hearing that happened from 2000 up to 2025, it's not something new. Yabona here, we are talking about pre-1994, ne? Pre-1994. So let's get down to that. Listen to this. These are things, notorious cases where police corruption often overlapped with political repression, torture, extrajudicial killings, disappearances, and state crimes. Isn't this what is currently happening in South Africa? It happens, yes. Number one, Eugene de Kock. You will remember Eugene de Kock. I think as much as we were still young in the late 2000s, 90 or from 90s to 2000, early 2000, I mean, you heard about this name. There was cases that were busy with this man. He was a colonel in South African police, head of C10 insurgency unit, abuses and crimes, overseeing kidnappings, torture, assassinations of anti-apartheid activists, dirty tricks campaigns. The outcome, prosecuted after apartheid, convicted for crimes against humanity, given multiple life sentences, later paroled. This is the man. The second one, Gideon Nieuwenhout. Do you remember Gideon Nieuwenhout? Security branch apartheid, involved in torturing and murdering anti-apartheid activists, including direct involvement in Biko's death through interrogations. I'm going somewhere with these guys. That was his crimes or abuses that he committed. And then what was the outcome? Appeared before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, known as TRC, for his actions, faced multiple hearings. Yeah, and then Nicholas Nick Dietfleet, security branch interrogator, alleged torture, assault of detainees during apartheid, involvement in deaths in detention, accusations brought post-apartheid, subject of investigation and public scrutiny. That's what happens when it comes to him. And the other person is Paul Erasmus, security police, Stratcom apartheid, spread propaganda, misinformation, dirty tricks against political opponents, e.g., discrediting organizations and individuals. The last one is Hermanas du Plessis, police kernel counterinsurgency, are involved in political assassinations, e.g., Cradock 4. Do you remember recently now in 2024, 2025, we were talking about on the news, they were talking about the Cradock 4. Cradock 4 killings and murder of activists. Do you remember? They spoke about that. I don't want to go dive deep into that situation. So what are the observations when it comes to those things? Amnesty or non-prosecution. Many apartheid era officers. Wow. The challenge between era and era for me. Yo, I'm just like, but I like how I always realize, no, girl, that's not the one. Many apartheid many apartheid officers, wow, many apartheid era officers were granted amnesty under the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in exchange for full disclosures. Thus, even though their acts were extremely criminal, they were not prosecuted in many cases. Do you see the painful situation here? Political context. In most apartheid cases, charges of corruption and corruption-linked misconduct are contested, politically fraught, or subject to delays. Scale versus visibility. The cases listed above tend to be high visibility or high rank. There are many lower level officers implicated in bribery, extortion, illicit profiteering, and abuse whose names never became widely known. Overlap of repression and corruption, especially in the apartheid times during often merged with gross violations of human rights, state terror, and political repression. So when it comes to pre-1994, that's what happened. Let's look at notorious cases from post-apartheid period now. Let's look at that. Police officers. We have in the first place Jackie Selebi, National Commissioner of South African Police, ex-Interpol president. Misconduct, corruption, and crimes. Accepted bribes from criminal elements, especially Glenn Agliotti, in exchange for influence, tip-offs, interference in prosecutions. Outcomes. In 2020, he was convicted of corruption and sentenced to 15 years in prison. He was released on medical parole in 2012 after serving less than a year. Arno Lamour. You remember Arno Lamour, Western Cape Provincial Police Commissioner, accused of corruption, receiving gratuities from businessmen, misuse of office, convicted, sentenced to jail, as mentioned, yeah. And then who else? Komoto Phahlane, acting National Commissioner, SAPS, alleged involvement in procurement scandals, fraud, and corruption, dismissed and criminally charged, brought. This one is very... Currently, there are things that are coming out that she was framed currently, but she is in the list. Bonang Ngwenya, Senior Crime Intelligence or Deputy under Phahlane, implicated in the same procurement scandal, money laundering, and fraud, arrested under trial. Multiple Free State police officers, e.g. Moloi, Kala, etc., sergeants, constables in Free State SAPS, convicted for racketeering, corruption, violations of Immigration Act, sentenced to prison terms, various prison terms. Glenn Agliotti, not a policeman himself, but deeply involved in the criminal networks and corruption with police, paid bribes to police officers, including Selebi, interfered in investigations, testified in high-profile trials. His action exposed corruption in policing. Do you see? There has always been a problem, WhatsApps, guys. There has always been a problem, WhatsApps. It does not start now. It's not the first time these things are happening. It's not the first time these things are happening. there has always been a problem. Why am I doing this? Because currently we have the names of, there was a case, who's this man? Donovan Crouch. There, Gininda is accused, Brigadier Gininda is being accused. He was not a brigadier at that time. Is being accused of forcing witnesses to admit to crimes that they did not do, etc., or forcing, was it admitting to crimes, but admitting to things and doing confessions there. Brigadier Gininda is accused of that in that crime. Also, in the Senzo Meyiwa case, Brigadier Gininda is accused of manufacturing the entire case against the 5 accused. The accused are also accusing him. Accused 1, 2, I don't know about 3, 4, and 5 if they will have something to say against him, but 1 and 2 are accusing him of orchestrating their torturing and then forcing them into pointing out and doing confessions against other accused. So then we have a Brigadier Gininda on that situation. And then we have a Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, who was arrested for fraud and corruption. We have a Lieutenant General Sibiya, who is also on the news currently and is attending commissions and ad hoc committees in Parliament for corruption allegations against him. Also, General Sibiya, his name is somewhere embroidered there by the Senzo Meyiwa case. So there's a lot of things that are happening. And then we've got also a lot of crime intelligence people that have been, their names are on statements that were supposed to go to the Zondo Commission, and they are now also going to the the Matlanga Commission is dealing with the current issue that General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi referred to. Otherwise, their names, there's a lot of them that are there. There's a lot. I think it's Lushaba is also there. There's a lot of them that their names are not coming in good light. So there has always been a problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Crime intelligence has always have issues. And SAPS at large has always have problems. So it has always been a problematic department, that one. It's not going to start today. But what I like, eventually people get arrested even from high positions. I'm hoping that's what's going to happen now. There are people that should not go scot-free. There are people that should not go scot-free. They should be arrested for crimes if it happens that they are proven to be criminals. If it happens that they are proven to be criminals, there are few names that I wish they will be going down for their crimes. May God make sure it happens in this time. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Forget my English, that is not English in there. I'm speaking English. But bottom line, you understood what I was trying to say. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.